Hi, this is Heidi at Homeschool How To, and the folks over at the Teacher's Notebook wanted me to give a little bit more of a detail about how I homeschool kindergarten. And so I wanted to just give you some actual things that we're using and that would help give you a better idea of how to homeschool kindergarten and preschool. So basically my one recommendation is to use reading time when you're doing kindergarten. And there are so many good books you can get at the library. You can purchase books, but most of the time you can use a lot of library books and read through all kinds of things that are fun for kids. So some of the things that I like to use are easy readers. They're great for parents to read. Kids love hearing parents read them to them. Once they can start reading, then they can actually do the easy reader kind of things. So this is one, Mary Main Simons has some great Bible easy readers. My kids loved having me read them to them, and then they also enjoyed reading them once they started learning how to read. And then the Usborne books, there are some great Usborne books that have where the parent can read both the top and the bottom, and then when the student starts reading, then they can read just the top and it still gives you enough of the story. And then those days when you are in a hurry, you don't want to read the whole story, parents can read just the top and the story goes a little bit quicker. But they have books that are compiled that have lots of different stories together in one book, so that's kind of good. I really like using picture books for history and science reading. There's no reason for parents to get curriculum and all this, you know, say this time and this day, then you say this, and you just use books and just enjoy your kids and learn with them. There's books like about Pocahontas, there's books on knights and castles, there's just tons and tons of books about all kinds of subjects about history that you can just read and kids will be interested and they'll ask you questions and wow, that's really neat, you know, that there are people like that that lived long ago. And then there are also lots of science books, like the Billy and Blaze books are great for learning about horses. Miss Rufus is one of our favorites. That's about how seeds grow in different places and how flowers grow. Books like Sassafras are really cool. This is about a little skunk and how he smelled and talks about other animals and learn about animals. This one, like Chipmunk and Hollow Tree Lane, talked about how animals, what they do in the winter and just how they interact and what their habitats are like. And so there's tons of great science type books that you can read. Blueberries for Sal, Make Way for Ducklings helps you to understand the migratory cycle of ducks, and it's really interesting for adults and for students too. And then there's all kinds of ABC type books. Dr. Seuss has great ABC books. This is one of our favorites. And then also you can get ABC books that are like, say this one's about boats, and it'll have like a letter and then it'll have something about a different kind of boat. And I've seen some for this different states. I know Ohio has ours. It's Ohio and it has this letter for each thing in Ohio, and it'll give you something in Ohio that has that letter with it. And so books are wonderful to use. Use children's picture books a lot for kindergarten, preschool, that kind of thing. And also when we taught our kids how to read, I used the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. That's just what works well for the 4 of our kids. There's lots and lots of different Teach Your Child to Read type books and type curriculums out there. Look around and see which one works the best. I know Teacher's Notebook has several that are really good for students to learn how to read. The other thing, that after you're doing reading time, also take your children to interesting places. It doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't even have to be every week, just some fun places that they can go that are interesting, even just places in your neighborhood. Take them to the post office, let the post office master take them in the back and show them how everything works there. Go to, some kind of a restaurant, go back in the kitchen and see how, I'm sure they'd be glad to show you if you give them enough notice what kind of things they do back in the kitchen, or to a firehouse, or maybe go to, if you have any factories near you, maybe like a chocolate factory or a candy factory, and just take them to interesting places. It'll just really help open their minds to what's out there in the world and the things that they can, helps them understand, how the world works, that not everything just shows up at the grocery store and that's just where everything is produced. The other thing that I recommend that you do with your children is play games with them. So I'm going to show you a few of the games that we use. Skip-Bo is a great one. I know there's lots of older folks that get together and play Skip-Bo. but you can also play Skip-Bo with kindergartners and little kids and things like that, and it is a fun game for young and old to play. Maybe a grandparent would enjoy playing Skip-Bo with your children to give you a little bit of a break. Another game that we enjoyed was Candyland. I didn't really enjoy this one as much as my kids did, but Candyland is a really fun little game. Just shows you how to take turns and you know, how to move and how to look at something and coordinate it with something else. So that's a really good early game. Another one of our favorite games was Guess Who, and my children loved this one. And this one is really fun because they have a board, and then the person across from them has a board, and you have to guess which person they have pulled out. So you have to say, well, is their hair blonde? Oh, okay, their hair isn't blonde. Okay, well then I'll pull down all the people that have blonde hair. That can't be them. And it's a really neat game. It helps them to reason, okay, well, if they say no to this, then I've got to get rid of these people because it's not that person, and that kind of stuff. Othello is another one of our favorite games, and that is just a simple little game. It's just a square type board. You have little either you're white or you're black, and you just turn the tiles and stuff. It's pretty easy. It's easy to learn. You can use a lot of strategy with it, you know, for older kids, but for little kids it's fun to just play and be able to you know, try to win, try to have most of your color to be turned over. The other thing you can use is a game called Mousetrap. And this one we didn't really even play that much. We just had it around and we would try to put it together, and that was really good fun. Science type things. Okay, if you hit this, then this is what's going to happen, and are we going to catch the mouse? And so that's a fun game too. And then along with games, it's also good to do puzzles with your kids. Again, don't get all stressed out about, oh, I have to get a whole bunch of things. You know, just get them for Christmas or birthdays or things like that, and it's not going to be a big issue that you have to spend a whole lot of money to do kindergarten. So, like, you can even do puzzles. They don't have to be educational puzzles, but you can do, you know, little Toy Story puzzles. Usually about under 100 puzzle pieces works well for kids of this kindergarten age. This was a really great favorite one, was the wooden type puzzles. The United States. My kids learned the United States and all their capitals and everything really early, and that was fun for them to do, and gave them some hands-on type stuff instead of always just, oh, fill out this workbook page, fill out this workbook page. You know, for kindergarten, there's no reason they have to fill out a bunch of workbooks. Kindergarten and preschool can be done so much with hands-on type things, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You don't have to have a script to be able to teach your kids. I mean, you taught them how to eat, you taught them how to go to the bathroom, you've taught them how to talk. You know, you don't have to buy a talking curriculum to teach your kids how to talk. I don't think you need to buy a big, huge curriculum to teach your kids how to read, or just how to learn about the world, how to learn about simple science things and history and things like that. So that's just my opinion. Another thing one of the essentials that I think is important for kindergarten is to answer your children's questions. So if they don't ask a lot of questions, which most kids that age do, but if they don't, kind of help them to start learning how to ask questions. Maybe go outside, take a walk. Oh, look at those clouds. I wonder why the clouds are like that. I wonder why they're in a circle and not in a square. Or just kind of help them to develop a sense of wonder of the world around them if they're not questioning those types of things already. So a few other resources from my website at homeschoolhowto.com. You can get 101 ways to make preschool fun, 101 more ways to make preschool fun. Those are also available on Teacher's Notebook. How to Homeschool Kindergarten is available on both. If you go to my website, you can get the free ebook, How to Get Started with Homeschooling, How to Homeschool with Best Resources. There's all kinds of resources and free ebooks and different things like that that I offer to people. I've been mentored by a lot of homeschoolers, and I feel like I need to, give back a little bit, mentor some people. So if you have any questions, you're free to email me, that kind of thing. So I hope that this has been helpful to give you an idea of what you can use for kindergarten and preschool, and just the fact that you can teach your children lots of things that they need to know without getting all stressed out about it. So I hope that's been helpful. Have a good day.